Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5 and this is Walther Wednesday. I guess I heard someone mention that on Instagram. And I got two Walthers of the PP variant. I got I'll go ahead and tell you, I have a PPK and a PPKS. One very old, one pretty new. I want to start off with the Walther PPKS because it's probably what I'm going to carry the most. Safety check it. So it is unloaded. And also something pretty cool. In case you didn't know, PPKs and PPKSs and I guess PPs have a decocker safety. But yeah, this is a PPKS. It's a police pistol sports or sportsman. And right here is the PPK. Go ahead and safety check that. This is the PPK. Now, I think over the years they've changed it because the PPKS is a lot easier to get. But James Bond originally had a PPK. And I think with Daniel Craig, he's had several guns, but I think he actually had a PPKS. The original James Bond gun, well, the original James Bond gun was a Beretta 25. I forget the. It's not the Jetfire. It's the one that preceded that. Can't remember. Might annotate it in. But Ian Fleming didn't know a lot about guns, so he picked a small, handy pistol. It was a 25. And Ian Fleming had a gun guy contact him and say, "Hey, that's a woman's gun. You need to get some James Bond something a little bit more capable." And it's interesting because they threw around 357 Magnum and stuff. They said, no, we need something concealable. And so they decided on the Walther PPK in 32 ACP. This is a 32 ACP. I don't know if I can get it to focus in. This is a machined bullet from Underwood. Or it's an Underwood round, but it's a Lehigh projectile. And this is what I carry in my 42 ACP, or as the Europeans know it as a 7.65 millimeter. And just to kind of show you something, you can look this up on YouTube. They have the scene from the movie on YouTube. But James Bond is forced to get rid of his Beretta and to start carrying a PPK. James Bond carried a 32 ACP in the Walther PPK. He stepped up from a 25. So it's funny in the scene, the guy brings the 32 ACP Walther PPK, and that's supposed to be the big upgrade from the 25. And he says that the 32 hits like a brick through a glass window. Now, what is the big issue? And by the way, this is just me talking about my two coolest guns at the moment. But the issue is I can't find full metal jackets at the moment. Now, I can find full metal jackets for both guns online, but the prices are pretty expensive and you have to pay for shipping and handling. If I saw these prices in a brick and mortar store and I didn't have to pay shipping and handling, I'd be more likely to pay for it. And keep in mind, full metal jackets for the 32 cost about $50 for a box of 50, and it's going to cost anywhere from $40 to $45 for 380, depending where you find it and at what time and stuff. So I really need some full metal jackets for both of these guns so I can test fire them and get a little bit of target practice in. These two guns are the only self-defense concealed carry handguns I have, other than my Glock 20, which resides in a bag, EDC bag. But I have carried both of these, enjoyed carrying them. I haven't shot them yet, which might seem a little bit reckless, but hey, I don't have full metal jackets, and hey, I need something to carry. I also have a knife and pepper spray if things get bad. But anyways, just some interesting things about these guns. This one's made in Arkansas, and I think it's made by the Walther Company. And according to the date codes, if you flip this over, as you can see with this, I'm going to cover up my serial number. It has an AB on it, and that's actually a date code. And I'll put on the screen the date code thing. It appears that mine was made in 2001. The sights, like most turn of the century pistols and 20th century pistols, are pretty small, but these are probably some of the better ones, and I can't get it to focus, but there's kind of the sight picture. These are a little bit more visible than these. These have red markings on them, so you got a box that you put the front sight in with red markings. Just to kind of show you the sights on these are even smaller. You notice they kept the serrations on top, or they kept the serration or this knurling on top to reduce glare. That's from the original design. Some cool things about the Walther PP, PPK, and Ppks. I'm not going to load it while it's on camera, but anyways, it has a loaded chamber indicator right here. Don't know if I can get it to focus, but this is something that's kind of stayed with Walther. But you see that little nub? One in the chamber. Let's see if it shows up on the Ppks. But it's the same feature. You have that little nub right there, and when it has one in the chamber, that sticks out. Not only that, you have a notch in the hammer, so you can see if it's sticking out or not. The cool thing about Walther PP, Ppks, or PPK, Ppks is that, as far as the PP series is concerned, police pistols are concerned, they were way ahead of their time far as safety and safety features. Now, some of you are going to be a little bit irritated that a self-defense handgun has a safety on it, but think about it. The public wanted a safety. They gave them a safety, but they didn't just give them a safety, they gave them a decocker. So you don't have a lot of handguns at that time that had a decocker on it, and the safety. Also, it had a magazine release button. A lot of guns at this time had the heel release. It had just a lot of cool features on it that weren't around at that time up until this point. So you have the magazine release button, you have a safety decocker, you have a loaded chamber indicator. This was lot years ahead of its time, in my opinion. Now, I talked about the age of this gun. Let's talk about the age of this gun. This is a pre-1940s Walther PPK. And I'm probably not going to be able to get this to show up because, it's really in there. But it has the crown over N. The N stands for nitro or smokeless powder. And the crown, I don't know what the crown exactly means specifically as far as which proof house it is. But basically this was proved with smokeless powder. So, just to kind of put things in perspective, they will get a round and they'll fill it up with smokeless powder, or they might give it a extra powerful charge in it, and they'll shoot it. And if the gun survives, they put a stamp of approval on it. That's called a proof stamp or a proof mark. What's cool about this is made before 1940. So this was still in the realm of the time space of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, but it wasn't a Nazi gun. A Nazi could have carried this, but there was no swastika on it. There was no other things on it that would identify it as it being issued to a Nazi soldier. If this was carried by a SS member, or they bought it with their own money in a gun store, they didn't get it directly through the government, I don't think. Also, if it was a contract Walther, it would have some kind of serial number on the magazine, which this one don't. So it's made somewhere before 1940. And with the serial number that I found on this, I've got conflicting serial number lookups just searching on the internet. I found a Polish a serial number pamphlet online that says this was made in 1936. I also seen 1938. So somewhere between 1935 and 1939 is when this gun was made. And I think it is awesome. I paid $5.45 for it. I have no clue what this gun is actually worth, because it seems like if it's such an early model of the PPK, that it should be worth a lot more than $5.45. So hopefully it works. Hopefully it's not fake. I don't think it's fake. And hopefully it's worth a lot more than what I paid for it, because that'd be super cool. Although I plan on keeping this one in my collection for a while. Unless it's worth like $5,000, then obviously I'm going to go to the gun store and get me $5,000 worth of guns. But I doubt that's the case. I wanted to share these guns with you, give you an up-close look at them. I just think they're beautiful. I love blued guns and stainless. And this one appears to be functioning. The Ppks was doing that same thing, where you would push the trigger guard to the side and it would spring up. So you disassemble it the same way. And if you want to reassemble it, hopefully I can do it in frame. You stick this in here, and I'm not in frame. There we go. It fought me, and it drew blood, but it now functions. So that's it. That's the video. I know it's long. I'll try to cut it up where it's not as boring. But I wanted to share my two coolest guns I have in my collection as of right now. And I'm going to wash this off. So that's it. I'm a Soxy 5 and I'm out.